Hey guys, Jess with Cardinal Wreath. We're trying out the far angle for this one because we are going to be kind of doing a combination video here. I was going to do one making just a bow and then another one with the embellishments, but the bow is going to be so little that I don't even think it needs a full video. It's going to be a teeny tiny bow. We're just going to stick it over here just to give it a little bit extra, and that's that. So we made this wreath. In our other videos, we added our mesh in, we added our ribbon. I put that sign in the middle there, and we're ready to go. I do have these really cute cardinals. See them? They have a little clip here to clip like into your Christmas tree, but it works out because then I could just dip the glue in there and stick it right on there. So we have all of our embellishments ready to go. Let me just slide this over for a second so that we can make our bow. It's gonna be only 2 ribbons. We're just gonna use this one here. It's a 4-inch, well, it says 3.5 inch. Woven. It's so pretty. It even has a little bit of silver tinsel in it, which is gonna go with the silver bells that we're gonna be adding in. And then I have just a small amount of this cardinal ribbon. It is so pretty. It is glistening and snowy, and it kind of goes with the snowy snowflakes on here, and also the snowy holly berries that we're going to be adding in. So, you guys, I'm so bad. I keep thinking I'm going to use my new bow dabber. Today is the day. So bear with me as I go grab that. So this is my old bow dabber. It has served me well over the last 6 years. It's been the only bow maker I've ever owned. It always kind of tricks me, and it says, oh, you know, it'll be okay. As if my bow dabber can talk and say, you know, I'll act right this time. But if you've seen a couple of my last videos, you know it's not going to behave. So let me grab this new one right out of the box. This is what it looks like when it comes. And you can, I just grabbed this one right from Amazon. It was on a little bit of a deal, so it was like 25 or 27 or something like that. I think it's normally like 30. They have a few different types. They have a smaller one, and it comes with the stick, which I don't use. So, to each his own, but I don't use that stick. I know you can use it to kind of push down your ribbon as you're building it, which I guess would probably keep it from coming out. But you know what? I don't like it. Okay, so I'm excited. This is the first time I've ever been able to use this ribbon. I can tell because it's crinkled at the end there, which is what they do at the store when they display it. So let's just whip this together real quick. This is going to be a super simple bow, like I said. This sign, you know, takes up the whole space. I don't really need anything too, okay, we're just doing like an 8-inch tail. We don't need anything too substantial. Ooh, that's even hard to get in there. Look at that. I'm over here excited about this, as you can tell. All right, I'm just, as I said, we're just gonna make a little one, so I'm just gonna make that. That loop is, let's see, 5 inch, about 4 or 5 inches, so not big at all. I'm making sure that I twist it, just like I do all the time. We're just making a tiny bow, even with this nice big 3.5 inch ribbon. I just love it because it's a really pretty woven. It was from Hobby Lobby. Which year? 2011? Can that be right? Wow. 2011? This is 2011 Hobby Lobby. Is this considered vintage? Doesn't it crack you up when you see stuff that is like not old and people are like, oh, like for instance, for me, like this is the first time in my life. I'm 40, and I'm starting to like some of the trends that I wore when I was like, I don't know, 20 or something, or a little bit younger, my late teens. It's all like starting to come back around, and it's really funny because like they'll say vintage 2000. I'm like, 2000 was just last year. 25 years ago, right? So it's kind of funny. So when I saw that was 2011, I just could not help myself. I had to make that little joke saying it was vintage. So stay with me and let me know in the comments if you guys are in the same boat. I know Like people are like, you know, the year 2000. And I'm like, oh yeah, that was just like a couple years ago. Time flies, doesn't it? All right, so we're just making this this little cutesy bow. I love it. It's so cozy. Nothing makes me happier than using like cozy flannel ribbon. Like that is just, I love it. It's just so cozy. All right, so we're just gonna make little tails, gather it. You know, it does not matter to me which way the cardinals are going, because you know what, whether they're going out or they're going in, it's okay. Cardinals fly all different ways. But if you feel inclined to let me know that the cardinals are not going the right way, then that's okay too. Hopefully it's coming out of a place of help and not of criticism, right? Anyways, all right, so I'm thankful that I'm able to use this ribbon in this bow. I only have a little bit of this ribbon, like I said, so I'm thankful that I'm able to use it today. Our embellishments that we're going to be using, they do have, I didn't even remember that I bought these, but I have holly berries that have snow on them, so you know, we all know that I like a matchy theme, and that is just too perfect. All right, and then we're gonna throw a little bit of this snowy ribbon, I think. Let me see what I have over here. I have a couple little tails left. We're just gonna throw this right in the middle there. I think that's gonna be really pretty, just like a little bump. I was thinking about putting like a little pine cone there, but maybe I will. Let me see. I got some little bells. Maybe I'll use one of these little bells. Yeah, I'll do that. Okay, so I'm not adding that little bump with this anyway, after all. All right, so just like I said, just like a teeny tiny bow, we have 2 loops on each side. Let me throw away that little V from the tail and set my little jingle bell over to the side. That's something fun too, is like sometimes you can shop like after season. Even like I think those little tiny bronze bells are from Walmart, and you can get some good deals on that stuff. So I'm just moving my thumb and wrapping it around, and we're just making it as tight as possible. We're making one long tail here, and then we're gonna keep my thumb here, take those tails, bring them forth, straighten out the loops, making sure that they're pretty even. If it's not completely even, it's okay too. Just bringing those tails down. All right, there we go, a little cutesy, right? All right, so let me throw this on our wreath. I was thinking, part of me was trying to figure out like where I was gonna put my bow. I was thinking maybe at the bottom, but I didn't want to cover up that really pretty holly and those holly leaves, because I know that if I stuck this right here, it would cover up that holly berries, and then it would start to like cover up the words. So I was thinking I could put it over here, like right here, and it just kind of adds a little something. So I'm just gonna weave this through our outer one here, so that it doesn't intrude too much on our words, because all those words are so meaningful, and I know cardinals they're very impactful to many people, especially around the Christmas time. I know Christmas time can be a little quite challenging for people that miss their loved ones. So I know cardinals provide comfort for people that are needing that reminder. So all right, so I'm just gonna wrap this around here, and I have my hot glue going so that we can be ready to throw in our embellishments and finish this wreath up. Right, so here we go. And if we need to stretch this over, like when I have this wreath all done, and if I need to place this a little bit differently, I can do that too. All right, so So I'm going to throw this jingle bell on here while I'm thinking about it. And then I'm going to bring in our embellishments and talk to you guys about them a little bit, and then bring in our hot glue. I have my hot glue pot nice and hot. I use a Surebonder hot glue pot, and I put Gorilla Glue hot glue sticks in there. All right, so let me show you guys how. Sorry about that. All right, so I always organize my embellishments. I use 2 different bins, so I'll do like the top and then the bottom. Sorry if you can hear my husband, he's working from home today. His voice carries. So we have these ones we're gonna use on the top. As I told you guys before, we have these ones that have the snow on them, which is really pretty. And then we also have matte ones that we're gonna use on the top. We have a few different sprigs. We have these 2, which I was thinking we were gonna put on either side of the sign, but I'm not really liking that idea anymore. So we're probably gonna be putting these, let's see, so we have 1, 2, 3 big ones that have pine cones on them. We have 4 spots. So let me just kind of place these here and see. I do this ahead of time normally, like dry placing it, or just kind of deciding where I want this. Let's see, put this one here, and then let me see if I have another. I have this one, which is really big, but I think it's too big. Let me think. I wonder if we can cut it into 2. I think if I stick that there, it's going to be way too prominent of a. Oh, I have these. I have these snowy pine cones. We could use those. That would be a good choice. We could put one here. Let me think. So we could use this one here, this one here. We could put this one over here. And then we could use our snowy ones. Yes, it has been decided. So these snowy ones came on the same branch as our snowy holly berries. I have a tendency to kind of keep things, little extra remnants over the side. Yes, that's pretty. Okay, we'll do that. And then I'll stick some greenery. We have these greenery pieces. We have 2 and 2. Yep. Okay. Okay, it's been decided. That's what we're gonna do. Yep, put 1 on each side. Yep. Okay, and then our holly berries we got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have these 2 big ones. We can put, back here. I'm making sure that I use, I keep the snowy part facing up, because they have 2 sides, like both sides aren't sprayed, unfortunately. So we'll put the berries. This berry we'll put in the front because I have a little bit of a smaller stem. That's the thing. Sometimes the holly berries, when you cut them off, sometimes they have long stems, sometimes they have short stems. You just kind of gotta go with the flow. I'll put this one right here. Yes. Ooh, yes. I like it. I like it. I like it. All right, cool. And then we have some extra. We have matte ones that we'll be putting in. Okay, so let me go grab my. We'll add the rest as we're going. And then for the top, or for the outside layer that has the 12, we have these ones that have pine cones on them. And then we also have these ones that don't have pine cones on them. We have our cardinals, we have our bells. All right, we got all the goods. All right, okay, let me move in my glue pot. And that's the thing to keep in mind too, is if you're going to fill your glue pot really high, like I like to do, it does take longer to heat it up. So keep that in mind when you are getting ready to schedule out how far ahead of time you need to turn your glue pot on. Okay, so here we go. Just making sure that we don't drip any glue. What's nice about this, this piece of greenery too, is you can actually bend it down a little bit. So it's not like sticking up from your wreath. Then I'm gonna put in these snowies while I'm thinking about it. There we go. We could put them behind too. That's an idea. Not one that we're gonna do today. Okay, this one's gonna go behind the ribbon. I'm just gonna dip it right in our glue pot. You can use a glue stick too, of course. But we're just gonna stick that right in there, and then we're gonna go on with put in our pine cone, and then we're gonna put our greenery over on the sides. There we go. Put that right in there. I'm gonna try to hold it back if possible, so it's not coming straight out, but like on an angle. We want our wreath to be like the embellishments to be able to be seen from the sides, not just like it's sticking straight out, if that makes sense. Glue pots too, I feel like they allow you to put a little bit extra glue on there compared to a glue stick, which can be helpful. All right, we're gonna dip that in our glue pot. You guys all have to let me know in the comments below if you're working on Christmas wreaths too. This wreath, I feel like it's more like a winter wreath, but people can use it for Christmas too. I try to create wreaths that can be, you know, some people like it to be very Christmas specific. Some people like it to be Christmas or winter. Some people just like winter, so I want to provide something for all the peoples. There we go. We're gonna stick our little pieces of greenery in the hot glue. And I always use Gorilla Glue hot glue because I just feel like it gives me that little bit of insurance that it's gonna hold the best. Making sure I don't get that on my ribbon or get that on my sign. When I dip in my holly berries, I want to make sure that the snow side is facing up. Just gonna set those right in there. Nestle them right behind that pine cone. There we go. All right, let me dip this in there. Something kind of comforting about the monotony of doing this. But this is always my favorite step, putting in all the embellishments. And it's kind of funny because I know that it's, you know, making wreaths is not about the views, right? But I feel like even though this is my favorite step, I feel like the least amount of people like the videos about embellishments. I'm like, what guys? What's that about? Embellishments are the favorite part. All right, so I have one more snowy berry. I'm gonna put it right here, even though I know, let's see. Nope, I don't know if it's even gonna be seen. Come on, stop sticking. Let me see, is it gonna be seen here? Maybe I'll have it sticking out of the top of my bow here. That's what I'll do. Okay. Make sure if you're using a glue pot that you are using it in a well-ventilated area. I have my PSA for that. There we go. Can you guys see that here? Let me move this a little bit this way. There we go. All right, so I have these matte holly berries. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm just gonna go around and add those in. This type of holly berry, this matte red, on the stem, it comes with 5 on it, which kind of works out from a design perspective for the top layer if you're going to use a bow. But on the bottom, it kind of stinks because there's always 12, 12 ties. So you're like, oh man, 5, I need 6, right? So you can just use 2. It's kind of funny. I feel like you kind of use a lot of math in wreath making, figuring it all out. How much to charge, how many you need to duplicate, how much prices of boxes are going up. Guys, why? Shipping supplies are even going up. Goodness gracious. How rude, as Stephanie Tanner would say. All right, so we are done with our top layer. So I'm just gonna set my box up here. All right, so can you guys see all my stuff? Okay. All right, so we're gonna start putting in our greenery. We have one greenery with a pine cone for every two that do not. So I'm gonna make sure that I space them accordingly. And then we're gonna have our bells and all that fun stuff. Okay. Just told you guys 2 to every one, and then I went to go put another one. Oh, that one got stuck. Tried to come along for the ride. Grab that before I lose it. And I'm not sure where it went. But yeah, that's one of the reasons that I prep beforehand too, so that I can count everything out. I know that even though I'm not talking to you guys, not having anybody talk back, it still takes some brain power to count while I'm talking. I've not quite mastered that yet. So we're going making sure that I have enough contact when I put that in, so that's not going to fall out, but not shove it in there so far that you can't see it. I'm trying to put them all in kind of equal amounts. All right. I think I might have mathed a little bit wrong on this. I think I was supposed to put 3 in between instead of 2. So let me see if I can rip one out real quick. Let me see. Let me stick this one over here. 1, 2, 3. Let me try to get this out if I can. See, I was just talking about how amazing I was at being able to do all this planning. Well, at least I realized it before the glue dried all the way. All right, I'll just stick it right back in. Nobody will be able to tell. No harm, no foul, as they say. Okay, stick that back in there. Okay, we already have one here. 1, 2, 3, and then we'll keep putting. All right, we are back at it. We're back on track, guys. Sometimes it gets a little bit confusing too with the greenery on top, because it can kind of look like it's underneath. And it's not. All right, put a pine cone one in, making sure that when we turn our wreath that we're not putting any of the ribbons into the hot glue. That might have overflowed slightly. Okay, we got one more to put in. Okay, and then we are missing one. How did that happen? Let me think. Weird. How did that happen? All right, let me go cut one real quick. Let me think. Oh, here it is. It fell out. I was gonna say, goodness gracious. You know, it can be a little bit, not unfocused, but come on now. Can't be leaving out any of my greenery. All right, so while it's on my mind, I'm gonna put in our birds. They have the little clip there. We're not gonna use the clip. We're just gonna dip it in the hot glue. We're gonna make sure that we don't get any of the feathers in the hot glue, because nobody wants a bird stuck like that. We're just gonna lightly place it in. We don't want to stick it so far down that you won't be able to see it. We're gonna put one there, and then we're gonna put one like right here. And we're just taking the little pincher part and just pointing it down a little bit. Okay, we're gonna put it right here. Okay, and then we're gonna be going around, and we have of these, but we should probably have eight. Let me think. Okay, so we have how many spots without pine cones? Let's start putting in the ones that don't have pine cones in them and see what we got. We can always add more in. We don't need them where there's birds, and we don't need them where there's pine cones. So let's just stick those in. And these are from a garland that Hobby Lobby sells. I got them last year. I have not checked to see if they have them this year or not. But Hobby Lobby has a tendency to carry similar things each year. Lately they've been adding in some extra new things, which is nice. But it is kind of nice to know that when you get something, it'll still be available the next year too, if you need it to replicate a design, or if you remember that you liked using it. It's kind of like an Old Faithful, right? All right, let's see. We need this one right here. And I feel like when you get elements like these bells from a garland, sometimes they're less expensive than if you just got them in a box of ornaments. But always be aware. You never want to assume. Okay, let's grab one more. It looks like we just need one more. And then we're going to put our snowy berries in, and then we're going to be good to go. You guys will have to let me know how you guys like this design. Hope you guys have enjoyed following along these Christmas wreaths. I know that by the time you guys watch this, Halloween will be over and Christmas will officially be here. Stick these holly berries. Here, let me see. Right behind all of our elements. We have 12 pieces, so we're just gonna stick these all in. Get them behind the bells and behind the cardinals. And these were all part of that bush from Hobby Lobby. And sometimes with these type of berries that are like snowy, or I have another one that has they're just kind of glossy, sometimes they stick together. And if they are, don't try to separate them, because it'll just leave a big white mark. You know, just try to figure out how you can incorporate them whole, right? Or in a bigger piece. Maybe put them around the top or something like that. Come on, get in there. These don't have huge stems on them, so making sure that they are connecting is important. And that's why I like to use Gorilla Glue hot glue too, because if for some reason there isn't a huge long stem, I still know that it has strong glue that's gonna hold it in there. And I always give it a little shake test, right? Before I even take pictures of it, to make sure that nothing's gonna be falling off. Just gonna stick that in there. And I feel like even though it's such a small amount of, let's put this string in there. I probably should have cut that. Even though it's such a small amount of holly berry, I feel like it does make a big impact, and it helps draw together the colors, right? The white in the sign, and the red of the cardinals, right? And the red and the snow in the ribbon, right? So it's all about details, right? Peekaboo wreath. We named it. My oldest son actually helped me name it. You know, I was trying. It's kind of hard. It's kind of like, you know, when you're picking like a baby name, right? You're like, what? This is gonna be their name forever. I gotta pick something, you know, that's gonna, you know, be impactful or whatever. I don't know. Maybe I overthink that a little bit, but I was like, a company. I'm like, a company name? You're like, what are you gonna do? Peekaboo wreath. So my oldest really liked Peekaboo at the time, and he's like, Peeky Peek. He called it Peeky Peeky. I was like, all right, well that kind of works, because it's like, it's all in the details, you know. I take pride in the details. It's all in the details, and customers notice it. I take pride in doing all those special, unnecessary steps at times, some people might think. But producing something that I'm proud of, and it's the best I can produce, and it's important to me. So, all right, we're all done. There we go. I'll give you a little side view. There's our little cardinal. There's 2 of them. Another one's back here hiding. We're all done. Thank you so much. It'll be available over my Etsy shop at Peekaboo Wreath. And I will see you next time. Bye.